You guys, welcome back to the show. I am so excited. Usually I talk to our next guest on a Friday afternoon, so it's a little bit looser. I'm talking to her on a Wednesday afternoon, so I don't know if this is considered during the work week. We usually have a drink on Fridays, and the last one was actually extremely silly, but I'm so happy she's on because I've kind of been in the dumps, and I needed somebody that I was like, I'm really looking forward to talking to her about pop culture. Now, I think to me, she is for me, one of the top 5 people in pop culture that I rely on a daily basis. And I think her importance in what we all love, pop culture, cannot be underestimated. I truly am so excited every time she is doing something new. And it seems like that's happening all the time. Now, I just want to say a couple of things. Her podcast, Do You, is excellent. Her guest was NT Lawyer this week from Crazy Days and Nights. I loved the episode. But not just that. Remember, she has her book, Anon Please, that you can find everywhere, Targets, airports, Amazon. But also, I look forward to this every Sunday. It's the Deuxmoi cheat sheet. And this week, it was great. Like, there's even fashion in it. Like, can you get the look of Jeremy Allen White from The Bear? And I'm clicking on this, and it's just white T-shirts. And I'm like, I was like, where do I get the blue apron? Anyways, of course, you know her. She is at the forefront of all things pop culture. The one, the only Deuxmoi. Welcome back.
Hi, Ryan. Thank you for that, as always, amazing introduction. You're so wait. That is so funny because you're right. I was working on that Jeremy Allen White thing with someone who helps me with my Amazon store, and I was like, just pick white T-shirts. I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
But you're right. I should have done the whole look. I should have put aprons in there. And jeans.
I finished The Bear season 2. Every girl is thirsting over this Jeremy guy.
Oh,
and so I'm like, yeah, I want this look. And it's just white T-shirts. And I'm like, I have a white T-shirt on right now, and I'm nowhere near Jeremy. Like, at least tell me where to get the tattoos. My God.
You're halfway there with the white T-shirt.
So I think you work out of New York. I know we like to keep a lot of things mysterious, but if you do, I was in New York last week. How the hell is Deuxmoi dealing with the humidity? Because it's disgusting and it should be illegal in New York. It's like 96% humidity over there.
Yeah, I don't leave my apartment. I have the AC on 70, sometimes 69, and I just...
All right, 69. Yeah. High five.
Yeah, I don't leave. But yeah, I would love to, get away and work from the beach. The weeks just fly by. Do you find that? It's Monday and then I blink and it's Friday. Yep. And it's what the hell happened?
You go into a fugue state because there is information coming at you at all times. Yes. And for you, it's not just Bravo, it's everything. It's music, it's movie, it's TV. And there's never even with the SAG Writers Guild strike, we still are going to have, I'm almost scared that we're going to have more pop culture kind of blind items out there because we're not going to have all of the TV in production that we would usually be able to talk about.
I 100% agree with you. I was thinking about that today and I was like, oh shit, is it going to be slower in our business? And I was like, no, it's going to probably be even more rampant running rumors because people are going to be bored and that's going to be their only, form of entertainment is in quarantine, scrolling on your phone through Instagram or TikTok. So we're back to that. We're back to that time period. And that's really when I think a lot of creators, I'm sure yourself included, grew. Yes. That's when Deuxmoi was born. So I'm like, oh God, it's going to be even worse for us because people are going to be looking for entertainment elsewhere.
No, I mean, I completely agree. And then these TV and movie stars, usually we would get an SNL Saturday Night Live cast announcement at this point. And I'm like, oh my God, we're not going to have The Bear season 3 for a couple of years. So this Jeremy Allen White, who's going through a divorce potentially, he's just going to be out there dating up a storm because everybody wants him now.
Yeah, I think he actually already is dating up a storm, to be honest with you. I've had a few submissions that
get into it. Who is it? Is it Selena? I've heard Selena. I've heard.
No. Oh my God. That started on my account because some fans just felt like starting a rumor and they made it a blind item and I didn't catch it right away. And once I realized it was about him and Selena, I was like, okay, this is fan made. Whatever, I'll just let it slide. It's a fun one. But it had legs and it started to spread. And I was like, you guys, I even think I said very blatantly, this is not true. But no, I don't think he dates or hooks up with other celebs. I think it's other people in the business or normies, really. I don't think it's
You hear that, guys? You got a shot. You got a
Yeah.
shot, you guys out there. No, I mean, it is funny. I was thinking about, like, we both appreciate pop culture so much, and growing up, it was wild when you would read like sources says, and like, is it so bizarre for you to now sometimes be the source that people are pulling from for Page Six, New York Post, all of these places? You're sometimes the source. Is that an out of body experience, and potentially in a bad way?
Yeah, when it's not accurate. Like I was reading an article on Page Six today, and they quoted me just very casually answering a question from my Q&A on Monday about Meghan Markle and Harry. And I'm reading the article, not expecting to see Deuxmoi. And it's like, Deuxmoi said, and I'm like, this is from my Q&A. Like, I don't even think about my answers. I just like answer those questions so casually. And I was like, I can't believe they're using my Q&A, my weekly Q&A as a source. Like, please don't do that. Like,
Which, by the way, you're also the first one to say that, believe these at your own risk. These are not like completely verified. Anybody can put in something to you. Anybody can put in a blind item to you. Anybody gives you information. Now, as you've continued, you have picked up on like patterns and things like that. But there is sometimes these aren't all true things that are coming to you, obviously.
Well, I mean, that's very specific. I need to answer that in a very specific way. Blind items that are submitted through the website are anonymous. So yes, I have no idea if they're true or false. For example, the Jeremy Allen White and Selena Gomez dating rumor that was submitted through my website from an anonymous person. Anonymous meaning I have no idea who sent it. Selena Gomez could have written it for all I know.
We know it's you, Selena. Yeah.
If there's a submission through Instagram, a DM, yeah, it's not anonymous. It's anonymous to you guys, but it's not anonymous to me. I know who's submitting it. So it depends like how you're, digesting like the information or that I'm providing. If it's an email, it's probably 9 times out of 10 it's not true unless I wrote it myself. And now I had to create GIFs to indicate which blind items I write myself and which I think are bullshit, because people were really just taking every blind item as a fact. And if it's a DM or if it's something I say on my podcast, that is much more reliable. And I've said this a million times, but people don't seem to get it. The media obviously doesn't get it, because I've even seen, articles about my blind items that like I say all the time, like are probably bullshit.
Well, it's like churning out this content. People are grabbing from everywhere. And I think now you are one of those top sources, but it's got to be kind of bizarre for you as a fan of pop culture that you are sometimes at the forefront of these conversations just to keep churning out content for these other outlets. I think that is so interesting and flattering, but also just really interesting.
Yeah, I think we've like had this conversation before. I don't know if it was with you, Ryan, but I feel like I've had it before with someone about how I would sometimes feel like I was like doing all the work and they were just like, reading my Q&As and my blind items and like running with it, either seeing what people are talking about and taking those topics and finding their own sources, whether it be Daily Mail, Page Six, Life and Style, Radar Online, whoever, or like I just described, taking quotes from my Q&As. So yeah, sometimes I do feel that like, why am I doing all this fucking heavy lifting for, these other outlets? Sometimes I feel like that.
No, it's like I thought about this. Like I could legitimately do a podcast just going through your blinds every day and make that my podcast. But what fun would that be? Like, it's like, that's why I like you are there, but it's not one of those things. But I just imagine some people do create whole things around everything that you put out there. Now, moving on, the most important question for you, Deuxmoi, is Barbenheimer is upon us. Which will you see first, Barbie or Oppenheimer? And will you even go see these movies?
That's a good question. I would probably see Barbie first and then see Oppenheimer. Like I would go to the movie theater to see Barbie because I'd want to see it on the big screen, and then probably wait for Oppenheimer to be available where I could watch it in my home. So that's my answer. Yeah.
You don't have a plan this weekend you don't have a ticket bought for Barbie this weekend.
No, I didn't even know it going to be in theaters this weekend. I don't even know the date. What month are we in, Ryan? Like, I
think we're in July. I'm pretty sure we're in July, but
I have no idea what's going on.
That is wild. Okay, so before we get into the actual meat of some of these celebrity topics, just take us through, because I want to kind of demystify people that think you might have a glamorous life. What did your day consist of today, without getting too personal? Just to like kind of
life.
Well, I think actually, because of the SAG strike, people don't realize what actors and writers are striking for. They all think we're rich, we're all celebrities, we're all living the Tom Hanks existence, and that's just not true. And I think sometimes people are like, oh, you're a celebrity now, but like so much hard work goes into this.
Yeah, I don't really view myself like that, like one iota. I live a very normal life. I don't know. I woke up, the minute I wake up, I start working. I can't help it, because the first thing you do is look at your phone, and all my work is on my phone. So literally the minute I open my eyes, I start working. Then my new employee came over, who is also a co-host on my podcast now. Her name is Ferris. That's obviously not her real name, but that's been my nickname for her for like 15 years. So I just said, we'll just call you Ferris on the podcast. She came over, we did a little bit of work. I had to go to the bank. That took about an hour. I came back. I did more work. I ate some pizza. I did more work. And now I'm talking to you. So
amazing. What a fulfilling day for you. Okay, so you were unhinged on this week's episode of Do You with NT Lawyer. You were on fire. And one of the things that you were on fire about that I thought was so fascinating, because we got a really cool piece of information from NT, was about Britney Spears' memoir that is going to be coming out in October. And you had always let us know that she didn't write this, obviously. And I think some people were fighting with you. And then NT came out and said, well, I know who who wrote the book. It was Sam Lansky, who I'm a fan of. And he was like, great writer. And Sam Lansky is an amazing writer. But it's like, yeah, Britney didn't write this book. Britney was probably interviewed for this book, correct?
Yes. I mean, correct. 100% correct. She definitely did not write the book. Now, did she write thoughts down? This is what I had always maintained. Yes, I thought that we talked about this on my podcast, because I went back and listened to the episode, because people were like, you said this and you said that. And I thought to myself, wait, let me find out exactly what I said. And it was actually an episode with you that I had said these things. I had always maintained that I thought that she had written down thoughts, and that she, had her own type of diary, maybe, that they referred to. But no, do I think that she like formed a story out of all this information? No, I definitely don't think so.
But also, a lot of celebrities don't do that. This is very commonplace regardless. But you guys made a great point of, and I've said this on my podcast, is that unfortunately, we're not going to get the book promotional tour that you would normally get from a celebrity. Britney is just not at a place where she's going to be able to go on The View. I mean, I'm sure there'll be a couple of key promotional appearances that will be very structured. Have you heard anything about the promotional tour at all?
No, I mean, I would be really even surprised if there were any, in-person appearances. Like, I don't think she likes being around crowds of people. I think it gives her anxiety, and, especially and she's always been like this, and I'm a longtime fan of Britney. So like, I can say this with confidence. Like, I think that she gets very self-conscious when like it's all eyes on her, which is in contrast to how her stage persona. But a lot of performers are like that. They're shy off the stage, and on the stage is when they go all out. And I think that she is 100% like that. She's been described like that. I've met her. I could say she is like that. Like that's how she is. So
you've met Britney Spears?
Yes.
We've never talked about that. I mean, I'm sure you've talked about it on your...
I don't think I have. I don't think I've ever said it.
And what was that experience like?
I've met her a couple times. The first time was like vastly different than the second time, because she had become much more famous in between that time period. The first time she was so nice. Like, she was like so nice. We took a picture together. She complimented my necklace. I thought I was so cool because she liked my necklace. But she wasn't like, this is like when she was first starting out. So she wasn't as big
Wow.
of a celebrity. And then years later, she was much different, much more standoffish. She was a much bigger celebrity at this point. So, if that's how she was many, many years ago, I can't imagine now. And do you ever see the pictures of her during meet and greets with her
Yeah. Oh my
fans?
gosh. And as
She's
they grew, and the last ones too, they just got kind of more disconnected.
Yeah, so I just don't think she, feels comfortable being around people. So I don't know, maybe there'll be a one-on-one interview with someone like Oprah in her own home. That I could see. But an in-person appearance like outside her own comfort zone, I don't know. I don't
I know
know. I
that.
don't
Well, this isn't your thing, but I know you are a fan. Would you ever talk with Britney if it was on a podcast?
ob- obviously, are you kidding me? That's like I don't like aspire to have an interview format
Yeah.
podcasts. I've had actors and comedians on my podcast before, and it's a very different experience than having someone like you who does the same thing as me on as a guest.
Yeah.
So I don't aspire to have that type of, an interview type podcast, but 100%, like who wouldn't jump at that
I
chance?
know, I know. Well, and also I just think it's so interesting, and a lot of our love of pop culture really starts with becoming a fan of these people at the very beginning. Like you said, you were with Britney. So it is interesting, even for the fan angle of it, of watching this person grow or get more reclusive. And I think there's this larger conversation that I'm always excited to have of like how our pop stars, the health of our pop stars, it's not good. I mean, Prince has passed away, Madonna is ill, Michael Jackson passed away, George Michael passed away. There is something that happens when you attain this level of fame that seems like it is completely unhealthy, and we see it time in, like, day in, day out.
Right. And Whitney Houston also.
Yeah,
Let's
Whitney
not
Houston,
forget
of
Whitney
course. My
Houston.
goodness. Like,
Yeah.
and Mariah Carey, I got scared of like for like 15 years ago when Mariah Carey had
Yes.
that right after Glitter. I was a little nervous, and then she seemed to be able to bounce back.
Yes.
Thank God. But it is interesting how pop stars, they reach this kind of zenith, and then things start kind of crumbling around in terms of mental health.
Yes, and it's funny you mentioned Madonna because when I heard that she was hospitalized, I reached out to one of my sources. We had a conversation, and I was like, she's going to end up just like everyone else,
I
just like
know.
Prince, just like Michael, because, I don't want to talk too much about her medical conditions, but there were rumors going around that she had OD'd and, she needed Narcan. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
true.
No, no.
I don't.
Well, I thought that was an official thing that they had to administer
Oh,
Narcan because they wasn't
oh,
aware. I mean, I believe that was an official statement because they didn't know what it was. And then I think they had said potential was bacterial infection, I believe. And we don't have to talk about this, but obviously it's pushed back the tour. But if the world tour is going to do this, we don't need the world tour. Madonna, I just read, was like worth $580 million. Like, I understand your legacy, but at some point, like, when you see, I mean, I would just be so curious what Madonna thinks of the pop stars around her. And like, she grew up with a lot of them, like Michael Jackson and Prince, and like knowing that she could potentially have that same fate.
okay. Oh God, I can't like say too much, but
Yeah, yeah.
I can say I had heard that something specific had happened to her that sort of changed her outlook on life a few years back, and maybe that's why I think we see her now the way she is, like with the overdone plastic surgery, and I don't know if the drug rumors are true. That's what I had heard.
Well,
I
do you
know this
remember that?
sounds very weird of
No,
how I'm
no.
describing it. My point is, I don't think that she thought she would have that fate, is my point. I
Well, it
had
just,
heard
I mean,
something happened and it sort of changed her mindset, is what I'm trying to say.
I mean, I wasn't planning on talking about Madonna, but just like already thinking about like, her and Diablo Cody wrote a movie about her life that she was supposed to direct, that they did those auditions for. What's her name? Julia from Ozark got the role. And then that movie got canceled. Madonna was going to direct her own life's movie. And then remember that video from a year and a half ago with her and Kanye, when Kanye was with Julia Fox, when they were all on those
Yes,
couches?
yes,
Like, it was just
yes.
like so many of those bizarre little moments. Okay. Moving off of that, what the hell is going on with the Hadids this week?
Oh,
Because we got Gigi and Bella. Is it true Gigi is smuggling marijuana into the Cayman Islands?
It seems so. It seems that she got arrested and she paid the fine.
$1,000 fine she paid. Yes.
Yeah. It's so weird because I don't know how the news leaked, because it leaked before I saw it in the headlines. Like, people were messaging me about it and people were sending me anonymous emails about it, and I kind of was just like, all right, maybe it's like some haters, because she was with Zayn, and Zayn has a very passionate fan base. So I was like,
maybe he does.
Maybe it's some haters, trying to fuck with Gigi. So I didn't believe it at first, and then I saw the headlines the next day, and I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I think that it's kind of self-explanatory.
It's marijuana, which, I mean, I don't want to, I'm sure some people have issues with marijuana. I'm kind of like, whatever. I'm more kind of, if it was a commercial flight and she did take it on and she's legally purchased it, I just think what a dumb move for her to think that she could bring that in. And I also just kept thinking of like, poor Gigi in that first conversation with Yolanda, just the disappointment that Yolanda Hadid is going to, I mean, because did you watch Beverly Hills? You probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know sometimes you're like, but like the disappointment that Yolanda feels when her daughters make a wrong move. And I just feel like, oh, Gigi, oh no, this is, this is Bella behavior, Gigi, which, by the way, Bella just checked in to a place for a mental health check, I believe, or mental health wellness retreat, I believe, today.
I don't know if it was today. I think that has been there. Like, first of all, there's always so many questions about Bella Hadid, but if you follow her on TikTok, she's been talking about this. Like, she posted a very detailed TikTok of all of her ailments and how they've taken a toll on her body a couple months ago.
From Lyme's disease, correct?
Yeah, and it was very detailed. I don't know if she took it down, but I watched it at the time and I was like, holy shit, this girl's been through so much. And she kind of said in the video, I don't know how I was working all these shows. The damage I was doing to my body, which was already broken down. And then on top of that, walking the runway for so many designers, it was like that. She was referring to one of the European seasons where she walked every single show. I think it was a couple seasons ago. So I don't know, like, why people are like, where's Bella been? She says in this video that she's been trying to get her health back. And then last week she posted a video about being single. So
which, by the way, we got the official announcement today that her and her boyfriend have been broken up, but have broken up now for a couple of weeks.
Right. I don't think it was official. I think it was page 6 and it was from a source.
Oh.
And, but yes, I do think that everyone kind of, because I've been asked this question in a Q&A for the past 2 months if they've broken up. So I think it's something that people have been speculating for a long time. And then whoever went to page 6, I don't think that anyone close to Bella Hadid would break this news on page 6. It just doesn't seem her style.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's funny that people, though, like you say, you've been asked this question, and it's like so funny because for me, the Hadids are like, if I hear about them, great, but I don't go searching out information for them. So it was kind of a 1-2 punch this week with the Gigi and Bella news, and it'd been a second since I of course was hearing the Gigi DiCaprio stuff. That kind of started to pick back up steam over the last month. But other than that, I don't go searching information. So it's always funny that there are people out there that are desperate for information about both of them at all times.
Yeah, I mean, they're fashion girls, so they have a very large young fan base who look up to them.
Yeah.
So that's why I get asked, I think, all the time. And then the Zayn connection, of course,
when Zayn made his return on Call Her Daddy, did you listen to that, or did you read the notes from that interview?
I saw a couple clips on TikTok, but I just felt like, when a big star goes on a podcast like that, it's just going to be a whole bunch of nothing. Like, what did he? You know what I mean?
Pre-designed questions. Exactly. There's not going to be pushback. All of that stuff. But it is interesting how all of this is coming out around the same time. Zayn last week, you had the Hadid stuff this week. I know that's not some grand design, but I just always think it's interesting how these things work. Another thing that we had talked about on your podcast last time, and I kind of thought, no way. And then you had this Michael Rubin 4th of July party, the Tom Brady Kim Kardashian rumor, which, by the way, then on your page, like, this Tom Brady was running around the house hooking up with people, supposedly. He's like making out with somebody upstairs. Kim was there. What is the real story with this Tom Brady thing? Because I thought you were crazy when you first said something about it.
No, it's so crazy because whatever happened at that white party, Tom Brady does not want to be associated with Kim Kardashian. I don't know why. I'm a huge Kardashian fan. I've said it a million times.
Yeah.
I love Kim Kardashian, but for some reason, like, whatever's going on between him and Kim, and maybe it is business, maybe because people are speculating that they have the same manufacturer, like Skims manufactures his athleisure line, or they have
she's going into menswear now with Skims. It was announced recently. Maybe it's something with that.
Right, but they do have the same something, and I don't know what it is. Like the same, not manufacture. I'm not exactly sure, but they have the same something in that regard. So if their relationship is business, if it's business with a side of flirty, if it's more than flirty, I don't know, but there is something, like some sort of friendship between them. And every time you hear from his side in the press, it's always like, it always has like the essence of like he doesn't know her, or like he has nothing to do with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then whoever from his side like planted this Emrata thing, that was a blip on the radar, him and Emrata. And then after that came out, I had people telling me, oh, no. It wasn't Emrata and it wasn't Kim. It was this other actress that was at the party. It actually happens to be someone that I don't post about. And I've talked about this several times, and it's in my book because
Meryl Streep.
Yes, Meryl Streep. Because this particular actress has messaged me and been very like aggressive in her messages. So I just said to her, like, all right, fine. Like, I'm not going to post about you anymore. You're a pain in the ass. But this is the actress that he was supposedly making out with at the party. So I don't love to go back on my word. So I can't say her name because I know if I come out and say her name, she'll message me and be like, that's not true. She tells me everything I say about her isn't true.
Tell her to message me. I'll take the flack. But this Tom Brady, what kind of game is he spitting at these parties that, like, I know he's rich, but he kind of seems always dorky to me. Like all of it, like, and then he's at this, everybody's wearing like $1 million watch at this white party. Do you really think, like, is it the kind of party where people are like making out in the corners? It seems like an upper echelon, like, show off our wealth party. I mean, is it going down like that at Michael Rubin's 4th of July party?
I heard it was like a networking event, and I also heard that like this year it was a little tame. But yeah, I think that if you're at the party for 4 or 5 hours and you're drinking, at end of the night, I'd be making out in the corner with Tom Brady if I was there.
I love the thought of Michael Rubin, like, okay, you gotta go. You can't stay here, but you gotta go. I love him like rounding up drunken celebrities at the end of the night. I think that's my, like, it's like a kegger party for rich people.
Well, speaking of Michael Rubin, he also spoke to the press and said, oh, no, there's nothing going on with Kim and Tom. And it's like, why are you speaking for Tom Brady? Why doesn't this man want to be associated with Kim Kardashian? It's like so fucking annoying. It's like,
and by the way, and also, that bothers Kim because she always has that insecurity from where she started that she sometimes feels has like imposter syndrome, even though she gets more powerful and more powerful. That kind of stuff, irks her. If you know Kim, that irks her.
I'm sure it does. And it should irk her because they're obviously, like I said, there's something going on there, whether it be a friendship or more than a friendship. I don't know. But I'm telling you, there is something going on there. And like every chance, his publicist or whoever's speaking for him gets, they try to shut down those rumors. And it's like, just say that they're good friends or say that they're friends. It's like so annoying. And it makes me think he's, a loser.
I kind of think he is a loser. This is like, by the way, this is like a rom-com waiting to happen in a movie form. Like,
oh my God,
a pro football player, a family, like this is like rom-com.
No, 100%. And you should see like the week that all that was coming out, like the Emrata and this, I had people messaging me and I had I had likened it to like a middle school dance, like rumors coming out from a middle school dance. Because, and I'm telling you, Ryan, like I had very reliable sources, people that were at the party, not anonymous sources, messaging me about like he was with this one, he was with that one, no, he was with this one, no, Emrata was actually talking to this one, and I'm like, I can't.
I would love if your source was Beyonce. I'm picturing Beyonce DMing you like, girl, it was going down, girl. You don't even know. Jay was like, mind your own business. But I was like, I'll talk to Deuxmoi. Yeah.
Imagine it was fucking Beyonce being like, oh, Emrata was not talking to Tom. Emrata was actually talking to Leo.
That would make her more of a legend. That would legitimately make her more of a legend. So, by the way, Skims just got a $4 billion valuation this week, which is just wild. They're considering going public. Are you watching the Kardashians this season?
No.
Oh, see, it's to me, I know people like they have that reaction.
No,
but it is
not in a bad way. I feel bad for saying no because I just went on this whole thing about how much I love Kim Kardashian, but I just haven't watched it yet.
One of the funniest shows on television right now. It's probably not by design, like like the meta version of it's just so funny to me. The whole thing is funny to me in regards to the Kardashians because they're trying to keep it normal, yet they have these still sisterly squabbles when they're all billionaires and millionaires. It's just another level. Okay, so we had love doesn't exist anymore in terms of celebrities this week because we had Ariana Grande and her ex-husband Dalton, and then Joe Manganiello and Sofia Vergara both announcing that they are separating and divorcing. What did you hear about this? Were you aware of these issues before they were happening?
I mean, the Ariana Dalton situation has been on my radar for a really long time. I talk about it with NT every time he has been on like my Spotify live show or my podcast because I think he has a pretty good connection to Ariana and he always seems to know a lot about it. So he has been sort of warning us forever that there's something up with their marriage. Like it's just a little bit shaky or Dalton seems shady. So with them, I wasn't surprised. And I didn't know it would be announced. With Sophia and Joe, I had heard about it like a couple days prior. But like I don't love breaking divorce news.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I do. I totally do. I always do the joke Camelot has fallen with everybody, regardless of who it is, because, but it is. I know Joe a little bit. So I was very bummed for them. And then he was the one that pulled the trigger on that. And now there's rumors out there that it would involve his sobriety. Not that he fell off the wagon, that he just takes it very seriously. And that potentially that they weren't growing together as a couple in terms of that, which was kind of a bummer. And then Ariana, I'm like, dude, why did she get married to a 16-year-old boy? Like that kid looks like a 16-year-old boy.
Yeah, I don't know. She has very interesting taste in men. I don't know. To me, she's kind of seems like she's just looking for love. You know, she was engaged to Pete. One of the loves of her life passed away. You know, then that whole thing happened in London. She kind of just, seems like somebody who just wanted to, find that person, and she can't seem to get it right.
Is the rumor about her and her co-star that she was at Wimbledon? Is there anything there
with Jonathan Bailey?
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay. You're like, no. Okay. Okay, perfect. That's all I need to know. Now, you guys also, you had brought up this in the podcast, and I always find it interesting the more I go on to this about the parasocial relationships that we have with these stars, or, that there is this kind of the fan connection with these. And I think that's part of it, is that we all talk about this stuff, but like, parasocial relationships, where do you see it headed? Because I feel like it is such an extreme thing right now. Where do you see this headed in the future in terms of these parasocial relationships we form with these celebrities so strongly?
I'm nervous it's going to get to the point where like something really scary is going to happen.
Yeah.
Or it's going to get to the point where, a celebrity can't take it anymore and they just lose it. on their fans.
Yeah. I mean, well, kind of like there's a certain point you're just like, give me a break. I mean, I was reading something about Lily Allen the other day, and she was like, yeah, there was such a pressure on me during that time of people following me around 15, 20 years ago that I just started acting out even worse to kind of combat what I felt was like all these eyes on me. And I thought that was very interesting, is that we don't know. I mean, you might know a little bit, and like, you don't know what it's like to be in that bubble where people are just talking about you. And if they get something wrong, that's got to be even more frustrating when you know the truth.
Yeah, I mean, I think it even goes beyond that. I just feel like that sometimes these fans feel like they have some sort of ownership over these celebrities' lives. I mean, Taylor Swift is a perfect example of that. How they feel that they could have like such a public say about everything that she does. A lot of people speculated that that's why she, quote unquote, broke up with Maddie Healy, is
I
because
thought we voted him off the island. I thought that was because of us. We voted him off, right? Like, there was
exactly, like that's
yeah,
what I'm saying. Like the noise got too loud. Like look what the fans did. Either she is still with him and it's keeping it hidden and pretending like they broke up so she doesn't have to hear the shit anymore,
yeah.
or it's true and they did just go separate ways. We don't know for sure, but I don't know. I just hope
I wonder if
something
that
really
was
bad doesn't happen, is what I'm saying.
I, yeah, no, I completely agree. I just wonder in Taylor's case with relationships, though, I wonder, I mean, she's just got this stranglehold on pop culture right now. I wonder if it even scares her at a certain point. Like you guys were talking about on your podcast about, the re-release and Dear John, which, by the way, NT Lawyer, I love that he is a hardcore Taylor fan,
Oh
and
my God, I
you
know.
can totally tell, like he knows lyrics, he knows all of these things, which I find really funny. But like she went out and said a statement like, whether you think this song is about who or there, like you don't do anything about this. And Auntie was saying, Dear John is not about John Mayer. Like for a fact is not about John Mayer, but it is interesting when you have then two fan bases, because I believe John Mayer right now, for whatever mistakes he's made in the past, people genuinely love John Mayer. So it's like this really interesting thing of like, are we supposed to attack John Mayer? It's like when fan bases start becoming an army, things get scary.
Right. And they didn't listen to her, right?
No, they didn't listen to her. That's the thing. Also, now it's like they're like, Taylor, you're not our general anymore. We will fight for you, but we will not listen to you. Like she flat out said, don't do anything, and people are ignoring it.
No, did you go and read the comments on
No.
his? It was like, mommy told me not to be mean to you, but I'm not going to listen to her. Like literally there was like a million comments like, mother said to not bully you, but oops, like here I am, John Mayonnaise. They call him like John Mayonnaise. Like that's how immature and like
John's up there ripping guitar solos with the Grateful Dead, with the Dead and Company, and then he opens up his Instagram and he's called Mayonnaise.
yeah, it's
like that is
so
wild.
juvenile. And so they didn't listen to her, which was wild.
Is there anything that truly excites you anymore about pop culture? Is there that thing of like, I love hearing about this? Like, what is your favorite type? Or I love hearing about this person. Like, do you still get fixations like I do of like something you watch or something you listen to and you want to know everything about it?
Yes. Like if it's a certain series that I'm watching, yes, 100%. I want to know about the actors, and it's usually like something obscure. It's not about like A-list celebrities or Taylor Swift or Harry Styles.
Yeah.
Um,
Because you
yeah.
were like an Outer Banks Summer I Turned Pretty girl, right?
No, I not Outer Banks, but I did watch Summer I Turned Pretty. But my latest like obsession is The Lincoln Lawyer.
Which is on Netflix, right?
Yeah, have you watched that?
No, it's on its second season. Is that right?
Yeah, it's so good, and the main guy in it, I think his name's Manuel, is so hot. I'm, like, so obsessed with him that, like, oh, I'm so obsessed with him. I was like, I don't really reach out to celebrities. We had DM'd before, but I messaged him and I was like, "Congratulations on season 2," like a big fucking dork. 'Cause I have, like, the biggest crush on him. Um And he was so nice. Oh, yeah, it's Manuel Garcia Ruflo is his name. He's so hot in it.
Wait, what even led you to The Lincoln Lawyer? What even led you to like, I'm going to check this show out?
My dad told me to watch it. My dad was like, I think you'll like this show. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I started watching it, and season 1, and then season 2 just came out. Yeah, I binged it. They only released half the season. So
Yeah.
it's 1 through 5. And then the other 5 episodes, I think, are going to be released in August. My dad told me. That's how I know.
By the way, we need a Deux's dad, a Deux's dad pod, like a Deux's dad corner of like what he's watching this week. And I think that would be actually, you could put that into the Sunday newsletter. So also, I know you weren't watching Vanderpump Rules this final season, but now they're filming season 11. How many blinds are you getting a day now? Because I feel like I can't escape everything still about this show. It's everywhere still. Are you being inundated with it still as well?
Not really. I mean, the last thing that I got was that they were going to Tahoe, and I posted it last week, but I blocked out Tahoe, and everyone fucking figured it out, or it was announced. I don't know which one. That was the last thing I got. And that person said they were going to Tahoe. They told me one of the places they were going, and they said that Rachel now was going to be there, but now I'm seeing that she's in Arizona. So I guess she's not going to be there.
Yeah, Page Six just published first photos with Raquel. They're like, Rachel breaks cover. And then she was wearing a hat that said something like be kind or be nice or be a nice person, I think was the hat. So I thought, wow, she's great. Yeah, it says, oh, be a good person, her hat said. So
okay.
That's a good reminder.
Thanks for the
message. It's always good to be reminded to be a good person. I was like, yeah, stop sleeping with Tom Sandoval should be the hat. But so I can't get you to watch Vanderpump Rules. You are not going to get on this Vanderpump train before season 11.
No, sorry.
What if that Manuel Lincoln lawyer guy? What if we get him in there? Will you consider? Did you watch the new Roni?
Yes, I watched the new Roni. Listen, I watched the new Roni. I'm watching OC, and I'm watching Crappy Lake.
Oh wait, you're watching all of that, but now I feel like you're doing it just to be difficult. Like you won't watch Vanderpump Rules?
No, and this is also the thing. I love Katie. I love Ariana. I love Schwartz. Like, you did love Sandoval. I love those guys. But like, I don't know. I just am like, I'm not a huge fan of Lala, so I just like I can't deal. I just can't.
No, I guess I respect your decision. But moving on to those shows, because I watch all of them. I love that you're watching all of them. What do you think of Crappy Lake? We just had our 3rd episode. Guys, I'm trying to convince you to watch it. It's only 21 minutes if you watch it on Peacock. And I'm kind of I think it's just a great breath of fresh air. What do you think?
I agree. It's like the geriatric version of The Simple Life.
God, it's like the
Isn't
geriatric.
It's
like the Golden Girls, but The Simple Life. Yeah, I mean, but Sonia, this last episode, she lets us know she got her pipes cleaned by a local townsperson, and they were having sex all night long. And for Sonia, for some reason, I know she's had like wild conquest, but I never like. It always seems so when she talks about sex, it seems so fun and fun loving. It never seems like dirty,
I don't really agree with that statement. But
tell me what,
yeah.
like, like it's always like a fun bit. Like, I was having sex all night last night, and everybody's laughing. Usually, like it doesn't seem like darkness when she talks about it. But what do you think?
No, I think there's a lot of darkness surrounding it because I think she drinks too much, and and then has sex with these random men. And I don't know if I were her, I would be doing that on television, but like, whatever you got to do, girl. And by the way, like, I didn't mean like they're old, like by saying geriatric.
No,
I just meant like they're older than Paris and Nicole were, but it's very Simple Life adjacent, like them being there.
Definitely.
But no, I think it's a charming show. I think that it's really entertaining.
That's my clearer thought is this, like the sex, like when you explain it, you're like, yeah, like the actually thought of that is like, that's pretty dark, but it's kind of laughed off. It's kind of like, ha ha, and I think that there's like a lightness to it when usually that's a pretty dark thing. Like to pick up a townsperson at this small town and bang them all night at a cheap motel. Like usually that could be an hour-long drama, and we're having it in a 20-minute comedy show.
Do you think that they really had sex though?
I want to say no, because she
Right.
even admitted on Watch What Happens Live that she was recovering from her
Liposuction.
liposuction surgery, and she was all wrapped up in these lipo bandages. So like I want to believe that, but maybe like it's all part of the Sonia mystery that she likes to keep out there.
No, at this point, Sonia and Luann are actresses. That's what they are. They
Yeah.
say it. They say that they're performers.
But
So
they're
they
good
are
at it too. Like, it's not like
exactly.
bad. They're good.
No, they're very good at it. If the fact that we're even questioning if she did or didn't have sex obviously makes her a very good actress. But I do think that they're at this point the little bit of their shtick is them acting.
Yeah, and I think if it was a lesser people, we would get annoyed with it so much quicker. But it's them, so we really like it. Now, moving on
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Roni. Now, you've always gone on record that you think Catch is one of the best restaurants in New York. What did you think when they bleeped it out a bunch that they said Catch is 2005 D-list model, and they went to Cipriani, or however you say that name, instead. What did you think? I love these petty squabbles. What did you think of that in particular, being from New York or being around New York?
I thought it was snobby. Like
But don't you like
get
that
over
they're
yourself.
going to be snotty? But don't we need that kind of snottiness
I guess
because it's easy
so.
to pick on in a sense?
I guess so, but I just feel like I don't know. I didn't like that comment because yes, Catch was very popular during its day. People didn't really, turn their nose to it as the women did on the show back in the day, and it's like big deal. Restaurants go in and out of popularity. I don't think they made it. I think she likened it to the Olive Garden.
Well, no, she said Olive Garden was more chic, which I
Yeah,
was like,
but that's what
yeah.
I mean. That's like what a stupid comment. Olive Garden is not more chic than Catch. Catch isn't even chic. It was never chic. That's the
Yeah,
point. Catch was never.
that's not the whole
It
bit.
wasn't
And by the
chic.
way,
It was
Catch
trendy.
Catch is doing very well. Vegas locations, LA locations, and Olive Garden. If you're listening, I love your breadsticks. Please give me a gift certificate. But did you like Roni overall? Because they
I
launched it, it
did.
was a big ordeal. Yeah, like
I
that's the
loved it.
thing. We got the ratings today, and they weren't amazing for all the promotion. And I hope this is a slow burn, but I think they had to overcome everybody complaining so much that it wasn't the old Roni, that we're missing on something that could be fabulous. Because I really enjoyed that first episode.
I agree with you. I loved seeing New York City. I love seeing the girls get dressed up to go over
Yeah.
Jenna's apartment or wherever they were going. I loved seeing the apartments. Like I'm into it. I'm into
This
it.
Jenna, I've been schooled this week by female listeners of like what she means to fashion and J. Crew. Like I shop at Old Navy. I didn't know any of this stuff. And like but I met her, I was at the Roni party last Wednesday in New York, and I got to talk to her for a sec, and she was really cool. Just like, by the way, Nomi Fry, the writer for the New Yorker, introduced me to Jenna, and I was like, look at this. Like, this is very New York right now. But she was so nice. She was wearing like a trucker hat, and like her style was just like so she just seems cool, so much so that I was like, how did they get her to do this show? Because she seems very self-aware.
Yeah, I was super surprised to find out when she was part of the cast. I think that fans of J. Crew will remember her reign at J. Crew. She was someone who came on to the scene and paired like sequins with like cargo pants. And at the time, everyone was like, oh my God, this is genius, like,
Yeah.
or like, whatever, feathers and like denim and high low in that way. And it was revolutionary at the time when she was, running the creative department at J. Crew. And then I think things started to get a little bit out of control and it tanked, and now I think J. Crew is actually getting better, but I mean, I don't know why I'm having this conversation. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, I'm learning more and more about it, but I do appreciate, the more I get into pop culture, how much it does revolve around fashion.
Oh
And
yeah,
I'm
for
always
sure.
surprised, like my female listeners will school me of like, it is interesting, just to your point earlier about Bella too, is that how much a part of pop culture fashion is, and these the fans know everything about fashion, and like it's one of those blind spots for me that I need to get better at. But they were very excited to have her there. I'm just wondering if Jenna's going to regret it in the long term doing something like this.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think she portrays herself to be like really cool and laid back on the show. I would love to get I would love to hear from the people who work with her or for her at J. Crew what she was really like, to work
Yeah.
for back then, because something tells me that she's mellowed out a lot. Um, just from what I
Yeah.
could imagine
Yes. Yeah.
she was
Of course.
like. So, I wonder
You know,
how real she is my point on the
well,
show.
I mean, the first episode did I'm really excited to see the further adventures. Are you getting any blinds about the Roni cast?
Not yet. No,
Nobody's
not
put in
yet.
one. That's wild.
I
So
know.
yeah, I'm all for that show, and I can't wait to watch more of it. I just need people to like give things a shot because I'm just so tired of us shitting on things immediately and ruining it for people. And I know this is going to be a slow burn, but I just want the health of Bravo overall. And when we shit on things, it just doesn't do any good for anybody. Like shit on things like a proper person after the season, and then completely shit on something.
No, I agree with you. And I saw you posting a lot of positive things about Roni, and I was reading some of the comments. And, some of the people were like agreeing with you. And then some of the people were like, how much are you getting paid to say this? And I was just like,
Oh, you know
why?
what? I didn't even read those comments. Do I don't usually read a lot of comments after the first couple, but that's great. I mean, like I totally get that, but it's like in that same kind of Vanderpump Rules, everything is like everything there. Everything's a conspiracy. Like, of course, I wouldn't say
Oh,
something
I
nice about
know.
something unless I was paid. And I'm like, no, like
Exactly.
there's a reason why I love these shows to begin with. There's a reason why I talk about this stuff to begin with. And I understand loving old Roni. I totally get it. But I do want new stories with new women. And I think there is this could be a good opportunity to see some new stories.
Yeah, I agree. And like, why can't you just like it and be positive? Why do people have to be like such assholes about it?
Yeah, be negative about Tom Sandoval. Don't be negative about this. Like, just pick your battles. Like, but also, those people, though, a lot of those people said, you know what? I wanted to hate it, but I liked it. So, like, I love comments like that. But it's like,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
going, but how messed up is like we go into things already wanting to hate it. Like, we go into that wanting to hate it. Like, why are you watching it if you already want to hate it?
People just love to be a hater. That's your answer.
You're right, too. Starting to wind down here. I can't believe you're watching Orange County. I thought last week's episode was horrible. It was the last Montana one, but I've liked the episodes before. What are you thinking about this season of Orange County, and are you enjoying Tamra back?
Well, first of all, I think that Heather Dubrow is much, much more watchable on this season than she's ever been. Like, there's something more human about her. I don't know if she
It's the
like
weed. It's the weed. She's buying
maybe
massive amounts of weed. She's smoking
maybe
weed now.
like I was talking to my friend about it, and we were making a joke like, did she read all the comments online about like how unsufferable she could be, and then just and like a good actress does take the notes and like improve on that, because she seems like a totally different person to me. Like I can't,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Well,
like,
I mean, and the IMDb fight was iconic. Like, you will
yes.
not. I am a hard-working woman that takes care of her kids. Like, I loved how intense she got with Taylor Armstrong about that.
I mean, they insulted her. First of all, they insulted her,
Oh,
and
completely.
yeah, and I don't think it's fair, the things that they said. They were being very catty, and Tamara's so two-faced.
Dude,
She's
why
so
doesn't
two-faced.
anybody see dude, why doesn't anybody see Tamara's game from a mile away? Tamara is like she's touched by God that nobody realizes she shit talks everybody, and then she's able to completely make these women believe her that she actually cares. Like, it is
Yes.
wild. Like, nobody knows her game plan, even it's the same game plan season after season.
I mean, I do think that even though her and Shannon seem to be getting along, like Shannon still has like, one eye that's like on Tamara at all times. Like,
Oh,
I
see,
don't
I felt
trust,
this
I
last
don't trust
episode,
you.
I felt the last episode, Shannon completely threw that out the window and loves Tamara as much as she did before, and started yelling at Heather across the table and said, I have had a good weekend with Tamara, and you are trying to ruin it, Heather. Like, I was shocked. She yelled at Heather Dubrow for it.
Well, I do think that Heather's, what did she pick? The thorn of her weekend
Yeah,
was
yeah,
stupid.
that
It was
was.
stupid. It was dumb.
But it's all
Like
stupid. All of those people,
I know.
her rose was like shoveling shit because that's what normal people do, which was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, no,
um,
I'm watching. I'm like, I'm into it.
okay, good. Are you doing it just like that at all?
Oh yeah.
What
Oh yeah.
what what do we? Any you get any spoilers? Like, or is Che gonna die this season? I mean, Tony Danza was at that Real Housewives of New York party last week. Che's dad in the sitcom Che Pasa, and I was starstruck by Tony Danza last week. Are you enjoying this season of it just like that?
I enjoy it for the fashion, but the writing is so bad. It's so bad.
But they think
And
it's so good. Like
they
it's
don't.
really
There's no
fascinating.
way.
They're in
There's no
love with
way.
it. You can tell they're in love with themselves, and I can't stop watching it.
I mean, of course, I'm like obsessed with Carrie Bradshaw. Are you kidding? I've already purchased 2 pieces of jewelry that she's worn on the show. Like, I'm like,
See,
I will always and
so from a
forever be
fashion
obsessed with Carrie.
angle,
Yeah,
so it
Carrie.
used to be Patricia Fields, right? And now it's not anymore.
Yes. No, it's the 2 people that worked with Patricia Fields. I'm so sorry, I don't remember their names, but, it's people that worked on the first, series. It's not people that just came off the street and didn't know the characters. It's just that Patricia isn't there. So but I still I love it. It's like eye candy. I don't know. New York, the fashion, New York. I love that, but the writing is just so bad. It's
But
so
also,
bad.
it's like the way they shoot it like a film now. And if you go back and watch
Yes.
old Sex in the City, it's shot like a TV show. And I think
Yes.
if they stop shooting it like a film, it takes itself so seriously when you see something shot on film. And I'm like, back in when you watch those old episodes, you realize it adds a level of lightness to it when you're like, oh, it's a TV show. They're shooting this like it's an Oscar winning film.
Yes, they are. That's so true. It's more gritty. Like the first series, I feel like was more gritty. Like because
Yeah.
of the way it was shot, it wasn't as pretty and glossy. And this is like pretty and glossy, and the women look amazing. I think I love the new characters. I'm obsessed with
Yeah.
Lisa.
They're doing
I'm
good.
obsessed
Yeah.
with Lisa. I'm obsessed with Lisa, the character Lisa. I love her, and I love the realtor. Her name is escaping me. It starts with an S.
Oh yeah, the one with the smoked cigarettes all the time.
I love her. I'm
Yes.
obsessed
No,
with her.
they've done a
Yeah.
great job at that. I'm just not obsessed. I'm obsessed with Che from a joking standpoint, but I think they completely take away from Miranda's story, and I feel like Miranda is just kowtowing to everybody. When's the emancipation of Miranda going to happen?
Yeah, Miranda's a little bit of a blubbering idiot this season, which is kind of annoying. But no, I don't have any spoilers. I think a spoiler, but I think everyone knows that Aiden comes back, which I'm
What?
not
I'm joking.
okay, I just got nervous.
I'm
Which
so-
I'm not that excited about because, people might not know this, but that TV series does not know how to pick its leading men. Chris Noth and John Corbett could potentially be cut from the same cloth, and that's all I'll
Yeah,
say.
but we're gonna need him on another Peloton immediately. Is there any chance
Yeah.
of Burger? We need Burger to come back. We're like, I'm
No
sorry.
way.
Hey, I just joking. I can this time. Let's do this.
No, I think that the audience would revolt. That would really push them over the edge if Che hasn't already. Everyone hated Burger. He was the worst.
Well, I was kind of thinking, don't you think one episode, if they do a third season, it'll be at like Barishnikov, like whoever that
Oh,
Barishnikov
I
guy
couldn't
played.
stand him either. Yeah,
No, but I
he's
bet
too.
what if he dies and she has to go to his funeral and then has like a whirlwind overseas romance? I was just trying to think of plot lines for a third season.
Yeah, why don't you submit those because they're gonna need some ideas, and the ones they got going are a little weak. So
Well, thank you for being here. As always, you are so good to me in this show. Is there anything else that I'm leaving out that has been a big thing of your day? I know you said it was a little slow, but I'm always excited to talk to you. And I loved your rant, your section on Jonah Hill this week on the podcast. You guys need to go listen to it because it truly, I've always heard just the shittiest things about Jonah Hill. And so it is wild for all of those text to be released and everybody to kind of have their opinions thrown out there. And he seems like a very troubled, insecure dude. And I get that, when you weigh so much and you change your body, it really messes with your head, but still no excuse to be a dick that badly.
no, and I received some very strongly worded messages about Jonah Hill over the course of running Deuxmoi, and I think I read a couple on the podcast episode you're referring to that literally said he's a piece of shit. People literally messaged me. This wasn't
I think you
even,
said one person stood up for him, I think, or something.
Yeah,
but
this wasn't even these were messages that I had pulled throughout the years. This had nothing to do with the Sarah Brady situation. he has this reputation, which is really unfortunate because his movies are good.
Yeah, that's why I
I
loved
enjoy him.
NT saying that is like being an adult. I'm able to separate the person and like, I enjoy Jonah Hill's films, but at the same time, I completely accept the fact that he is probably a major dick. And reading those text messages, it was just to me like we're back in like I'm throwing that in like the Sandoval fire. But like I do think he sometimes makes great movies and he has a gift, but why waste it by being a dick? Like you're right, like nobody stood up for him in the celebrity sphere.
One person did. Devin Booker randomly
Devin
posted.
Booker?
Yeah, you didn't know that? Yeah, the fans were like, "What the fuck?" They were like sending me
Devin Booker. Food God
Devin.
stood up for him.
I'm
Jonathan
pretty
Chevin
sure.
stood up for him.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Devin Booker. He posted a picture of Jonah to his stories the day that the Sarah Brady stuff came out, or the day after, with like an emoji, like an emoji with like the emoji where the guy's like saluting, the little emojis like saluting. I think that's the emoji he used, and people were sending it to me like, why is Devin Booker like standing up for Jonah Hill? I'm like, I have no idea. Like,
Well, I
there's
guess that
no.
means Devin Booker's a dick too then. Sorry, Kendall.
Well, yeah, of course he is, but it's still like, stay out of it, Devin Booker. Like, why are you putting yourself in
Yeah,
the
you
middle
don't
of
you
this?
don't want this heat. My God. So do you have a new episode coming out this week, correct?
Yes, Thursdays, new episodes every Thursday.
Thursdays. And I know you guys think Deuxmoi is like so big and all that stuff, but go subscribe, rate it 5 stars. It really does help. No matter if you're me, her, anybody, go do that. Go subscribe to that newsletter. She's going to try to get me on Jeremy Allen White's fashions from the bear a little better than a white t-shirt. But I'm telling you, it's so well done, these newsletters, and they keep getting better and better. Obviously, the Deuxmoi account. You got to get the book Anon, please. Hopefully turn it into a television show at some point. Is there anything else coming up for you that we need to be aware of?
Yes. I mean, I could give you this first exclusive info, but I'm launching an app.
Yes, I love. What's the app called? DAP?
Um,
Dupe? What is? I'm trying. DAP. Let's
no,
see. What are we called?
it's called Deuxmoi World.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing! Congratulations. Wait, so will I
Thanks.
be able to get all of your blinds right there on the app?
It's not going to start with having blinds. It's going to be another aspect of my account. I'm not going to say just yet, but eventually it will be built out to hopefully house, all the type of entertainment and content that I provide. But that's not what it is. The initial rollout is not going to be that.
Well, let me be part of the test group. This sounds amazing. I'm hoping it's like restaurant recommendations. I'm hoping it's
Yes.
clothing. I mean, like it
Yeah.
really that like Deuxmoi World would be like a 360 view of your world, and fashion and all of that stuff is a huge part of it as well. So that's damn exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's going to be really cool. We've been working on it, doing all the creative for it. Um, and that's like the biggest project I think I have going this year. And then plus a ton of merch coming out that I've
Oh yeah, by
been
the way, I'm wearing
designing.
your Deuxmoi shorts right now, which I always tell you they truly are my favorite shorts that I ever wear. Like I wear these so damn much. Like truly the like really high quality merchandise. I'm always in love with your merch. And wow, it's gonna be Musk, Zuckerberg, and Deuxmoi. Those are gonna be like the three. That
I didn't
is
even think
really
about that. Yeah.
true.
Um,
Wow, that's
yeah. So I'm really excited. So you're the first. This is the first time I'm saying it in public.
That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. That's so cool. I will be one of the first people to download that app. And thank you for your service. I'm giving you a Devin Booker emoji salute right now.
Thank
I
you.
can't wait to see what else comes up the rest of the summer for you. And hopefully I'll be back at New York at the end of August. So, hey, let's hang out, dude. Let's, by the way, did you see me walking around sweating in New York last week? Would you tell me?
No,
I was sweating so hard.
I
I
didn't.
hope you would tell me if you saw me. Okay, good.
Where'd you stay? What part of town did you stay in?
I stayed downtown Morton Street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, that
yeah.
may or may not be around where I am, but no, I didn't see you. I did not see you.
I did stay with Deuxmoi last week, you guys. I want to, and she might say I didn't, but I actually did. So I just wanted to just clarify that. You guys get the first scoop. But Deuxmoi, thank you so much. I look forward to being on your show again and all of this. And I look forward to anything you post every day. So hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Ryan.